We all know the feeling. You wake up after a full night of sleep, but your head is pounding, you feel exhausted, and you immediately start dreading the tasks ahead of you. When you start your morning in a state of reaction, feeling rushed and stressed, that chaos carries over into the rest of your day. But you can fix this by taking control of a single 10-minute block of time. We are going to build a customized, science-backed routine designed specifically to clear out morning brain fog and wire your focus for the hours ahead. Here is the single most important rule before we begin. We are going to cover 10 different habits, but your goal is not to cram all of them into your morning. You are only going to pick 1 to 3 habits that easily fit into a strict 10-minute window. To make this work, grab a pen and a piece of paper right now. As we go through these options, you are going to physically write down your personalized routine. Physically putting ink on paper takes this out of your head and makes it a concrete plan. It is the first step to taking intentional control over what happens next. We start with your biology. Take a look at this cross-section of the human brain. Your brain is roughly 70. McRaven famously outlined the psychological weight behind this action. Making your bed provides your brain with a clear signal that the first task of the day is completely finished. It triggers a subconscious sense of pride that motivates you to tackle the next task, and then the next. By completing these 2 immediate, low-effort actions, you establish a baseline, you rehydrate your biology, and you generate immediate psychological momentum before you even leave the bedroom. Next, we need to curate your mental input. Playing calm, instrumental music for a few minutes gently regulates your mood. You want to avoid loud, aggressive tracks or stressful news feeds early on, as your brain is highly sensitive to auditory input right after waking. You can pair that audio with a micro-reading protocol. Reading 1 or 2 pages of an inspiring book positively primes your mind without the heavy time commitment of a full chapter. For example, authors like Robert Schuller often structure their books into very short, digestible segments. Reading a single focused anecdote from voices like his drops an immediate dose of motivation into your morning. If you wake up prone to anxiety, you can use deep breathing. In this diagram of the human nervous system, you can see how taking a few minutes to deeply inhale and exhale physically calms the nervous system. It lowers your heart rate and clears away the physical markers of stress. By intentionally selecting calm music, brief inspiring reading, or focused breathing, you create a shield. You force your brain to engage with positive inputs before the stress of emails, deadlines, and external demands can intrude. If you struggle with lingering lethargy, you need physical activation. A brief, full-body stretching routine prevents joint injuries, relieves muscle soreness from sleep, and actively pushes fresh oxygen straight to your brain. You also need light. Stepping outside or sitting by a bright window to capture morning sunlight provides essential vitamin D and sends a critical wake-up signal to your body's internal clock. This chart shows exactly what happens neurologically when sunlight hits your eyes. It causes a sharp spike in serotonin production, the chemical responsible for stabilizing your mood and locking in your circadian rhythm for the day. For an absolute jolt to your system, there is the cold shower protocol. Exposing your body to cold water forces an increase in white blood cells, clears away remaining mental fog, and violently spikes your baseline energy levels. Whether it's the movement of stretching, the chemical reaction to sunlight, or the shock of cold water, these actions physically shatter the sleep cycle and force your body into an active, alert state. Finally, we have habits for clarity. The first is analog day planning. Writing out your daily tasks on a physical piece of paper forces you to organize your thoughts without the immediate distractions that come with unlocking a smartphone. Working with paper means you get to manually check off boxes as you complete tasks. That physical motion gives your brain a hit of satisfaction and cuts through the feeling of being overwhelmed by your workload. You can combine this with a digital-free reflection habit. This means sitting quietly, asking yourself what you actually want to achieve today, and visualizing the specific outcomes you are aiming for before you interact with anyone else. Now it is time to build your specific routine. Look at the paper you grabbed at the start of this video. Review these 10 habits and select just 1 to 3 of them to fill your 10-minute window. Let's look at a completed timeline. If your goal is calm focus, you might build the Zen Mind Schedule. That gives you 2 minutes for hydration, 5 minutes for sunlight and deep breathing, and 3 minutes for quiet reflection. 10 minutes total. But if your personality requires physical momentum, your timeline might look like the action schedule. That is 1 minute to make the bed, 6 minutes for full body stretching, and 3 minutes of analog planning. The secret to consistency is realizing you do not have to do everything. Culling the list down to a highly focused, curated block of 10 minutes ensures you will actually execute the plan every single day. Review your handwritten list right now. You hold a concrete, personalized, science-backed execution plan for tomorrow morning. Starting a new routine always introduces friction. You can remove that friction by setting up your physical triggers tonight. Put your water glass or copper jug on the counter, or leave your book out on your desk so everything is waiting for you when you wake up. To lock in your commitment, drop a comment below and tell us the specific 10-minute habit combination you chose for your routine. You do not need an exhaustive 2-hour morning ritual to improve your life. Take control of your habits, master the first 10 minutes, and you will own the rest of your day.